Manish has been with Ameriprise since 2006 and has seen some tremendous growth there that he's been the leader of within one of the leaders there within their development. So what I want to do is I want to try to make this as real as I can, and for you, the audience, and really understand what is the value proposition of of these top three broker dealers out there, and why would you consider them if you're leaving. But first, Manish Dave, raise your hand down there in the bottom corner. It's been the vanguard of helping lead Ameriprise the past few years in its growth with advisors. So Manish, why don't you share with the audience the value proposition of Ameriprise Financial Services?
Absolutely, Jeff, and just want to echo. Thanks for putting this on here today, and it's great to be here with John and Scott to talk about what we all love to talk about, which is our, what we get to do every day and the people we get to serve. The Ameriprise story has been around for a long time, but it's interesting, Jeff. Sometimes people aren't familiar with it. We've been around since the late 1800s, so 125-year history. While we've flown different flags over the firm in terms of the name of the firm, the mission really hasn't changed from the late 1800s, which was how do we help hardworking Americans who save for their retirement continue in their retirement 8 days, spending that money the way they want and having a confident retirement. For many years, we flew under the American Express banner, and then in 2005, Ameriprise was born. And we have three channels where advisors can affiliate with us. We have about 8,000 advisors who affiliate with us as a 1099 in what we call the Ameriprise franchise channel. About 2,000 advisors who affiliate with us through a traditional W-2 channel in one of our 170 offices across the country. And then we just have recently really forayed into the institutional space and helping some banks and credit unions across the country. All of those, while we have different ways to affiliate, just like some of my colleagues here today, it's all with the same mantra, which is how do we help advisors grow? How do we help them serve their clients, all within the realm of advice? And I think we would all probably agree that as much as our business has kind of ebbed and flows over the years, at the end of the day, what we're helping clients do is to navigate all that's coming at them through volatility, geopolitical, everything else, and regulations, and how do we really deliver advice effectively? And that's really what we at Ameriprise are here to do. And so if you look at whether it's advisor retention, client retention, satisfaction, all of the metrics which we can get into, the proof is in the pudding. But it's I think it really comes down to how do we, common theme that you'll hear today is just how do we help advisors continue to serve clients with all of the opportunity as well as challenges that we face every day.
So Manish, thank you. So would you say that it's more client-centric for Ameriprise, where you're focused on helping the advisors help the client, or more focused on the advisor? I mean, just so the audience is there a priority of the client first, advisor first? Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Jeff. It's a great question. I think you always have to, begin with the client in mind. Now, at the end of the day, advisors are delivering the advice value proposition to clients. It's how do you support the advisor the most effectively and surround them with the tools to be the most effective in serving the client in today's ever-changing environment. And so, you don't need to spend more than half an hour to look on CNBC to watch a commercial to tell you why a robo or someone else can be doing the job and displace the role of the advisor. And I think what we look at it is how do we make sure that, knowing that advice is our business, how do we surround the advisor with the best tools, the best expertise, the best environment to be able to deliver that? It's what we call actually our advisor client experience. And so we spend a lot of money, a lot of time listening to our advisors tell us this is what they need to really compete and really deliver advice most effectively. But it's all with the advisor and the client in mind.
But Manish, you've been in Ameriprise a long time, and you've chosen to stay there. So there's a reason why you've stayed with Ameriprise. You've seen it go through its evolution. Tell me why someone would want to seek out Ameriprise or go to Ameriprise as a broker dealer.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Jeff. And all I'll try to do too is differentiate Ameriprise vis-a-vis the industry. And so I think very simply it comes down to this. If we compete on the ability for Ameriprise, our value proposition, the ecosystem that we've built to either help grow advisor practices faster than any other firm out there. And that's really what it comes down to. And so you take a look at the 10,000 advisors, our average productivity is just shy of 700,000 per practice. The average Ameriprise advisor over the last 10 years has been growing at 8% productivity growth per year organically versus 2 to 3% in the traditional space. And you kind of step back and say, why is that happening? And what we believe in our hypothesis is that we have an ecosystem that we built that combines everything from technology, marketing systems, the operational aspects of running a practice, to the supervision aspects of all of it stitched together with leadership coaching, and built in an environment where you could really optimize your productivity, and you could bring people from the back office more, from your local staff into the front office, and make them more productive. And so all of that kind of gets down to how do we help grow advisor practices? We do business planning, and it's great to hear Scott and John talk about it starts with everyone's kind of individual business plan and goal. We do business planning with over 95% of our advisors, and that's kind of where it all starts. And so if someone comes to us and says, here's what my plan is, then it's a matter of, it's nice to have a plan, but if you don't actually have the resources or the expertise to execute it, it's just a piece of paper. And so how do we actually then surround our advisors with the resources and the support to actually execute on that? And so that's what we are constantly working on. And, for me, Jeff, for someone who's been, in this industry, in the space for 23 years, and this is the only business that I know, I just love the firm's commitment to continuously investing, innovating, and kind of thinking about how do we help advisors grow their business, and kind of doing it in the ways that I talked about.
Okay. So Rod, I'm going to pin you down if you don't mind. Okay. So we can say this, but to prove it. So how do you help the advisor grow? So you can say you help the advisor grow, but then what do you do? What does Ameriprise do to help the advisor grow?
Yeah. So let's just kind of go back, Jeff, to that business plan. And so let's just say an advisor says, you know what, I haven't been acquiring clients at the clip that I want to. I want to do more in that realm. Help me, really look at my marketing systems and whatnot. We've got over 50% of our advisors engaged in a coaching program in any given month. And so if an advisor engages in a coaching program around marketing, it could be taking a look at how do we drive more traffic to their website, looking at their social media profile, looking at we'll do over 12,000 events a year, obviously 2020 being a little different. That's just one realm of it. It could be on the practice acquisition kind of front, and saying, hey, listen, I want to bring someone into my business as a potential junior partner, or as a practice that I want to buy, and putting together actually a sourcing plan or an active plan, tactically actually helping them go out and execute on that. Kind of going down the realm of, it could be advice that they want to bring into their practice, and that they want to do more financial planning, and that's something that they've got a passion around. And it's in a lot of that could be our peer-to-peer programs, Jeff. It could be kind of the turnkey systems that we've got already kind of through technology that we enable. And so I think, though, what would really probably differentiate it the most is just the human beings that we actually have in the field or in the corporate office, really getting hands-on with advisor practices, and really connecting them to execute on their business plan, wherever that may be. But it's it's all of that. When I talk about that ecosystem, I know you and John are active competitors. I use the analogy a lot about Peloton. It's like, you kind of think about what Peloton did. It's how do you have a good machine with good music, with a world-class trainer, and some really good metrics to optimize your output. And that's and that's something that we're trying to kind of create. And the proof is in the numbers. Obviously, as I mentioned, the growth numbers kind of stand behind the fact that those elements come together and actually bring that growth to life.
I also want to let let the audience know I'm a Barron's advisor, and what all three people are saying is, if we want growth, I mean, these are great opportunities. If you want to grow your book, if that's what you're looking to doing, I mean, they're all talking about growth. I mean, you could feel the energy from them describing the value proposition of their broker dealer. So if you're probably not interested in growing, these broker dealers of LPL, Cetera, and Ameriprise may not be the place, but that's outstanding. I mean, we're such in a great profession where we can grow our book. We've got resources to help us do that. And, to John's point, it's everyone's individualistic. It's up to us. Touch a little bit on the advisor out of protocol. Who wants to, does anyone, you want to address that at all? How you guys handle that at your firm?
Sure. Yeah, Jeff,
Go ahead, Manish.
Yeah, we've been big believers of the protocol for many years. And listen, I think that at the end of the day, the protocol has served a really good industry purpose in terms of allowing advisors to have the flexibility and to move between firms if for one reason or the other that they're feeling like their firm isn't delivering for them. And so clearly you saw a few years ago when a couple of larger firms kind of pulled out, there was some uncertainty around what was going to happen with the protocol. Thankfully, I think we've seen that the protocol stayed in place and it continues to be a meaningful part of the industry. At the end of the day, at Ameriprise, we will, of our total recruitment activity, I would say 70% of it is protocol, 30% non-protocol. And it just, we provide our advisors when you put on an Ameriprise jersey, we provide them with full legal support. And so whether that's in our W-2 channel or 1099 channel, Ameriprise will pay to have the legal support. And kind of going back to what we've talked about a lot today, we go through a thorough review of everyone's individual situation and make sure we get counsel to help navigate us through so that the advisor can have a good transition depending on they're coming from a protocol or non-protocol firm. Our stats, Jeff, are pretty similar in terms of the asset and revenue ramp ups of people are coming to our firm from either one of those protocol or non-protocol firms. And so it may take a little bit longer with non-protocol just because there's a little bit more communication that has to happen and steps in the process. But ultimately, as long as the advisor has, which they usually do, has a great relationship with their client, they're going to bring that client with them. We do also benchmark kind of our onboarding statistics with McLaughlin in the industry, and we're proud of the fact that we've actually got the best in class onboarding results measured by McLaughlin, and that's both in our W-2 and our 1099 channel. And I think that's a testimonial to both the onboarding teams that we have, but most importantly to the relationships that advisors have with their clients and doing a good job of navigating them through a transition. But that's just a little bit about kind of protocol, non-protocol, what we see out there.
Okay, customized. Great, thank you. Manish.
All right, thanks, Jeff. We're fortunate as a Fortune 250 company with a $22 billion market cap with over $2 billion on our balance sheet. We manage our balance sheet really well, and so we were one of 11 companies in the S&P 500 to increase our dividend in 2020, which there weren't obviously many companies that were in a position to be able to do that this year. What that enables us to do, Jeff, is if there's a good fit, and we've been talking about that all day today, whether it's values, cultural, if the alignment is there, we try to take money off the table by being very competitive from a money standpoint. And so, when it comes down to it on our W-2 side of our business, we'll offer well in excess of 300% on the W-2 side of the business, so that we can really compete for the best talent out in the industry. On the 1099 side of our business, we're looking at 1 to 2 times, up to 2 times, trailing 12 in the form of some of the levers that John talked about, whether that's upfront, asset awards, different types of kind of bogeys as we go there. And so ultimately, Jeff, what we're trying to do is if there's a good fit, we try to figure out how to be really competitive on the economic side, because at the end of the day, We're not looking to be the biggest system out there. I mentioned we've got almost $700,000 per average advisor productivity. We want to grow that. We don't want to be the biggest. We want to have the most productive, managing nearly $1 trillion in assets. I think we can do that while not having to, necessarily bring on, thousands of people a year. And so that's what we're looking to do, kind of from a transition and deal standpoint.
Okay, outstanding. I'm going to close it out here. For the audiences that are out there, three great broker dealers. I appreciate how you guys, Scott and John and Manish, work together and support one another and represent just a top quality broker dealer. It's a lot of makes me proud to be in the industry, and that's certainly having you guys here. To the audience, how we can help you at 3X Equity is if you reach out to us, you can reach out to us anonymously. If you want to find out more about each one of the broker dealers here on this WebEx without actually reaching out to them specifically, you can reach out to us and we can introduce you to the appropriate broker dealer or all three, to their regional recruiter in your area. So to consider all three would be outstanding for you if you're thinking about the move. And if you left the firm you're with, you definitely would be going to something, not from something. So with the quality and the value proposition of Cetera, Ameriprise, and LPL. So appreciate you coming out here. I hope it was helpful. Look for a follow-up from 3X Equity. This will also be hosted on our website at 3X Equity. And to my 3X Equity team that helped put this together and structured it, the first one ever, and there'll be another one in January. Thank you to all of you. So Manish, Scott, John, thanks for trusting the process. Thanks for trusting each other. And let's go get them in 2021. Thank you, everybody.